Hi everyone, so welcome to my channel Mom Story by Sahana and Pragna. So today I am with Ms. Dechu ma'am and she is the most experienced social worker here. So today we are here to discuss about something very important with regards to adoption, and that is about disclosing the fact of adoption to your child. So there is a lot of confusion and doubts among the adoptive parents, like how we should do it, or should we do it, or should we not do it. So I think ma'am is the best person to take us through the entire thing. So over to you, ma'am. So can you just tell something about yourself, and then we can proceed with our topic for today.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Dechu Banerjee, and I have worked in child welfare since 1987 and worked in the field of adoption for many years. Have done numerous placements of children in adoption, both in Hyderabad and in Bangalore. And today, the entire adoption program and the processing has changed a lot. But I continue to do a lot of counseling for pre adoption and post adoption issues. And as just mentioned, telling the child about adoption is a very important topic. I'm an MSW background, done my master's in social work, and have about almost 20 years of experience working in the field. Thank you for this opportunity. And yes, it's a very important topic which never seems to go away. It keeps coming back again and again over the years. There is a lot of confusion, there is a lot of fear, and there's a lot of doubt as to why should we tell the child about adoption, how should we tell the child about adoption, how do we deal with what happens after we tell the child about adoption.
Correct.
So we tried to explain to adoptive families saying, telling the child about the adoption. It will then sound like it's a story. So couples are first encouraged to understand why it is important to tell the child about adoption. And this is done even before they actually adopt the child. In the pre-adoption counseling itself, we emphasize very strongly that one of the things they have to understand is that the child is adopted and the child needs to know that he or she is adopted. During the pre-adoption counseling, couples understand the logic, the common sense behind it, and they all agree, yes, it's very important. But unfortunately, especially in India, a lot of couples do not go ahead with telling their child about the adoption as they go along parenting the child. The reason is, when you take an infant, the first 3-4 years is a very hunky-dory period with the infant. There's lots of love, there's no challenges. As you know, with any infant, parenting an infant, there's so much of happiness and joy that you don't want to start threatening that period by getting into this difficult phase of telling the child about adoption. So couples start feeling, okay, do I really need to go there? There are many instances where one spouse or partner feels I should tell the child about adoption. The other strongly says, no, I don't want to tell the child about adoption. And as partners or spouses, unless they agree on something which is as important as this, it's very difficult for them to go ahead. So there are many cases where this is stuck at the point where one partner or spouse wants to tell and the other has not agreed, doesn't feel ready to tell. So much so that there are many cases in India where couples have not disclosed the fact about adoption to their adopted children. Why is it important to tell the child about the adoption? To my mind, this goes back to the relationship and the bond that you build with the child. Today, children are parented and talked to like they are friends with the parent. The old-fashioned way of parenting was a lot of discipline, a lot of boundaries. Children were not encouraged to participate in adults' conversation. Children were supposed to be seen but not heard. So today's parenting is you involve the children in a lot of discussions in the family. You want to buy something new which is important like a car. You have a conversation with your child, however old the child is. You may not talk about technicalities, but you will say, I'm thinking of buying a new car. Then you discuss the color. If there's something else for the house, you talk to the child. You talk to the child about almost everything because you treat your child as an individual person who understands what you are saying, given the age of the child. You keep it within that. So even a 2-year-old today is very smart and articulate. Now, building this relationship also means that you have trusted the child trusts you. You respect the child as an individual, the child respects you. And therefore, you love and care for the child unconditionally. Now, when you hide a big fact like adoption from him or her, it upsets this entire secure, trusting relationship. The child can turn around and say, I trusted you. How come you didn't tell me about this? Or you lied to me. Especially if the child has asked you a question or two and you have not told them the truth. I believe I'm not your own child. Someone just told me that. Is it true? Say, yes, it is true. Do not say, no, 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 that is not true. That is the first lie. So if you start by not being upfront and honest, you break the trust relationship. Once the trust relationship is lost, then you run into teenage behavioral issues, you run into young adult issues with the child. Please understand that all children cannot articulate their emotions. So very often, if their emotions are disturbed, it comes out in behavior. So there is aggressive behavior, there is non-compliant behavior. There are a lot of behavioral issues that a young child, a young teenager, a young adult displays, and you're not able to understand that. But this is all coming from a lot of emotional difficulties that the child is experiencing because something has gone wrong in the way he or she has been told or not told about the adoption. So this is one very important reason why you should be upfront and honest with the child.